My name is Virginia Dalbenmeyer, and all of you know me as Miss Jenny. I want to talk to you today about in the spring when you start receiving clients. I have some important tips for you to give you a successful service. I'd like to start with the appointment book. In the appointment book, each of you will have your own column. It'll have your name, and your client will be put under the column with what kind of service they want and their telephone number. It's up to you to check the appointment book every day, and you may want to check forward in advance to make sure that you know what you're doing for the following days too. And from this you can gather whether they're getting a color, a perm, a haircut, and that will determine how you set your station up. Setting up your station is a very important part also. So if you know that they're going to get a haircut, you can just have your apron, scissors, clippers, your blow dryer, curling irons, comb, brushes, and you'll only need a paper towel or a neck strip. But if you know that they're getting a color, you'll need to have your color bowl, a color brush, and you will have to drape for a chemical service. You'll need 2 towels for a chemical service. One will go under the apron and one will go on top of the apron. After you have them draped for their service, you find out what they want and you can give it to them. Now if you look on the book and you're feeling a little nervous about doing the collar or a little nervous about doing a perm, you go back to your text or you come to me and we'll review it and make sure that you're going to do it the way that they want it done. The next thing I want to talk about is a rotation chart. After you do a service, you would put your name and the service that you give in a rotation chart. That rotation chart will help us to know if you've had experience at the collar, the haircut, perm, etc. And that way, if you've done one, you might want to move on and do something else, and that'll give somebody else a chance to do what you've already done as a service. The next thing I want to talk to you about is when we come into the lab, all of us, whether you have a client or not, need to be dressed appropriately. If you are wearing tennis shoes, jeans with holes in them, sweats, pajama pants, this won't be acceptable. Usually we find things for you to clean and keep you out of the lab and out of the view of people. So if you want to make sure that you can stay in the lab and do your projects, you'll be dressed appropriately whether you have a client. But if you do have a client, it's very important that your hair be clean and styled nicely, your clothes be clean, and you have the appropriate shoes on. When you go out into the lab, you want to make sure that everything is set up, and then you'll go to the reception area where the receptionist will introduce you to your client. You should go to her with a nice smile and introduce yourself also. She'll introduce herself, and your attitude should be pleasant and something that the client will be able to enjoy and use as a first impression. If she finds that she likes your attitude, she likes your dress, and she likes everything that the services that you give, then she'll return and sometimes request that you do her. The next thing I want to talk to you about is once you seat your client, before you even drape her, you need to have a consultation. You need to look at her hair. If she says, I want a perm, then you need to decide whether her hair is going to be okay to give a perm too. If she says she wants color, then you need to look to see if she just needs a retouch or if she needs to have it done all over. And if she needs the perm and she has color on it, you need to find out what color she had. Also, you need to ask her if she has ever been there before. If she's been to our salon before, we should have a record card for her. And as part of your setup, you could even make sure that you go through the record cards and look to see if she's been here before. After all that is completed, then you can go ahead and drape her. After you drape her, then, and give her the service, if she likes it, then you're going to continue on to styling. And styling is also important that you ask how she wants her hair cut. And then for the finish, you'll have to know your Lonza products and how to use them. Put them on the head, blow dry her out, or if she wants her hair set in rollers. But however it's done, that needs to be between you and the client. Now when the client leaves, you'll walk with her out to the reception area. Once you're in the reception area with the client, you'll tell her what products you used on her hair. If it's something that we sell, which most of the time you'll be using the Lonza product, and we sell every product that we use, you'll let her know what you used on her and how you used it. You'll also want to know if she wants to make a returning appointment. If so, then you have her book appointment with the receptionist. You tell her thank you for coming, and you let her know that you would be available if she'd like to return again. After the client leaves, then you need to go out back into your lab and make sure that you sanitize and disinfect every implement that you use. If you have combs and brushes, they're to be washed and then sanitized properly. You'll clean your station with disinfectant, wash your mirror, clean your bases, and make sure everything's cleaned up for the next client to arrive. If you follow all of these rules, then you should have a successful cosmetology service. And if she enjoyed it and you gave her what she wants, then she's going to return, she or he is going to return back to the salon, and then we will be able to give her that same service if you fill out a record card. And that's a very important part. Make sure that she signs a record card before she leaves, and you fill out every single thing you did to her. Because the client will come back in and say, I want my hair done exactly the way you did it before. So the more detail that you write on this record card, the better the service. If you're pleasant, clean, and you sanitize, a client doesn't want to come in and see that you have hair in your brushes and that your station is dirty, you have hair on the floor. They want to see it clean, and if you keep it that way, I'm sure you can get your clients returning. And I hope that you can take this information that I'm giving you today and use it in the spring, because most of you will be taking clients by the time of spring, and I want you to have successful service. Thank you. I don't know.